The ride-hailing giant Uber has had a rough ride recently, hit with allegations about sexual harassment with the company, and tonight facing new accusations of misleading drivers and overcharging customers, all to pocket some extra cash. The WUSA 9 Special Assignment Unit hit the streets to find out if it was happening to you. And in the midst of Eric Flack's investigation, the company made major changes.
If a fill-up cost you $38, you wouldn't round that price up to $40 and let the fuel company keep the change, would you? If you got $23 in groceries, would you be cool with paying $25 and letting the store pocket the difference? Well, that's exactly what Uber is accused of doing in this lawsuit. So we put the company to the test.
We hopped into the back of Brian Fernandez's Uber and started to explain what we were doing. We didn't have to.
You're nodding like you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
See, Fernandez suspected something was up with how much customers were being charged and what he was being paid. So he and his girlfriend checked it out.
Gave a ride home. It charged her X amount. And then it told me that the fare cost a different amount.
The same thing happened to us over and over again.
Sometimes they cheat.
Sometimes they cheat.
Yes, they cheat.
We paid one fare. Uber credited the driver with a lower fare.
So what do they do with the $1.21?
I guess that's theirs.
We get charged $7. The driver gets credit for $5. We pay $12. The driver's fare is $8. Uber charges us $17.
And yours is, your fare is $15, $36?
Nope. My fare is $17.
Well, you get the idea. And remember, that's before Uber takes a 25% service fee, something drivers actually know about because it's in the agreement.
It seems almost like the customer is getting overcharged and the driver is getting shorted.
I believe so, yes.
We had to know, was anyone doing anything about this? So we traveled up to New York City to find out.
Some of these are pennies, and some of them are dollars.
James Canigliaro Jr. is the head of a union that actually represents Uber drivers in New York, the first of its kind.
These companies have grown so big and have so many drivers that they're doing hundreds of thousands of rides a day in New York City, per day. And so whether it's pennies or dollars, it adds up to an enormous amount of money.
Tens of millions, he estimates, that's going right back into Uber's pockets. Back in D.C., Brian Fernandez is frustrated, but feeling helpless to change the system.
Unless somebody comes down on it, unless there's some class action lawsuit by drivers, which I don't foresee happening.
Actually, that is happening.
Uber's greed is just despicable at this point.
These attorneys filed a class action lawsuit out in California against Uber. They claim the pricing differences are deceptive.
They're deceptive in the way that they are dealing with this navigation situation.
So here's what he means by that. The lawsuit alleges Uber charges customers up front based on the longest, slowest, and most expensive route. Then they bank on the fact the driver's GPS
make a left turn on DeSale Street Northwest
will find a shorter, quicker, and in the end, cheaper option. And that's the one that Uber ends up paying drivers for. Now here's the thing. The difference doesn't always swing Uber's way.
They paid you more than they charged me.
Yeah.
On a few of our rides, we actually ended up paying less than what Uber paid the driver.
So that's actually good for both of us, I guess.
Yeah.
But that only happens when things like surge and boost bonuses kick in, money drivers only get at peak times. And when we added it all up, a huge majority of the time, 10 out of 13 trips, the company got the better end of the deal. So we asked Uber, what is the deal? And the company worth billions of dollars, responsible for millions of riders, responded to the WUSA 9 Special Assignment Unit.
Now I have another customer.
It sent this message to every single one of its drivers, for the first time publicly admitting there are times when what a rider pays may be higher or lower than what the driver earns for a trip. Then they followed that up with this statement to our unit. Drivers earn based on the work they perform, regardless of what a rider pays. This hasn't always been clear to drivers, so we're making improvements that bring full transparency into what a driver earns, what a rider pays, and what Uber makes on every trip.
Follow the route.
Those changes include showing drivers what riders are actually paying, but riders still won't know what the difference is unless they compare with the driver after the trip. like we did with our pal Brian Fernandez.
That's awesome.
You don't think that's fair?
No, of course not.
Who got a fare from Uber that was $3 less than what they charged us.
That's not the only change promised by Uber after our story. The company is pledging a terms of service update so drivers know up front how the company prices fares. It's also promising to publish rate cards online so drivers know the net amount of what they make per mile per minute. You can read more about the changes on our website. Eric Flack, WUSA 9.
Now, if you're wondering if those changes made by Uber in response to our story will make that lawsuit go away, it won't. The attorneys tell us tonight the company's new transparency with the way it charges customers supports their allegations that Uber shortchanged its drivers. Now, to see a breakdown of all the rides we took and to read the entire lawsuit, just go to our WUSA 9 app or website.